Hello, 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 my friends. Caitlin here, and let's talk about movies. Oscar-nominated movies, that is. This is one of the best times of year for a cinephile. It's also the first time in a while that I've actually seen a majority of the nominated films. Thank you, MoviePass. Let's start from the top. Probably the most vied for Oscar category is Best Picture, and we've got some great nominees there. I've seen 6 out of the 9. I'm only missing Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, and Phantom Thread. Now, these were the films I found myself least interested in. I might still see Darkest Hour, but otherwise, I'm not really a gritty war film kind of person, and I've generally heard Phantom Thread is boring, weird, bad, just not enjoyable overall, so I think I'm gonna skip it for now. But even still, from what I've seen, I think one of those 6 is most likely to win anyway. I feel like it's going to be between 3 Billboards and Shape of Water if we're looking at total nominations and other award season wins. And I would pick 3 Billboards to win between those two because I think it's a superbly tight film. But I also wanted to give you my pick for Best Picture because what's an award season without personal opinions? So Call Me By Your Name is my favorite movie of the season. I went into it thinking, I need to see this because it's nominated, and I left just like utterly changed. I need to watch it again, but I feel like this might go up there with Moulin Rouge as one of my all-time favorite movies. I am a sucker for aching love stories and films that can effectively capture that longing and angst and unrequitedness. Finally, I want to give a nod to Get Out because if we were looking at Best Picture in terms of best or most interesting achievement in film, I would pick Get Out. Its story is different and compelling, it's technically interesting and innovative, and it plays with genre expertly. Basically, 5 stars. Now for Best Actor. So I've only seen 2 of the performances on this list, and I feel like Gary Oldman is going to win for Darkest Hour because he's won all the other awards. And I think it would be a real upset if he didn't win. Plus, I mean, it's Gary Oldman. But I'm rooting for Timothée Chalamet in Call Me By Your Name. Do you sense a pattern here? I was blown away by this film. But for reals, there was a magic and an innocence and an integrity to his performance that makes sense because he's so young and playing such a young character. I think what makes it impressive is that it's a film with a lot of long, loping shots, and his performance just irresistibly draws you in. Especially that final scene where the credits roll, just, oh my gosh. For a lead actress, I'm a little more torn. I've seen all the performances except Margot Robbie and I, Tonya, which I still hope to see. Like, Meryl Streep is Meryl Streep. I loved Lady Bird, and I think Saoirse Ronan is phenomenal in it. Well, I think Saoirse is phenomenal to begin with. I've loved her since The Lovely Bones. But I do think it probably comes down to Sally Hawkins and Frances McDormand, who are both just amazing in their respective films. I love them all. I don't know who to pick. For supporting actor and supporting actress, I'm favoring Sam Rockwell from 3 Billboards, and the ladies are tough again because everybody's so good. Maybe a tie between Laurie Metcalf and Octavia Spencer, but that also might be because those are the only 2 films in that category I've seen. For Best Animated Feature, I feel like Coco will win because Disney almost always wins, and usually with pretty good reason, and I think Coco definitely deserves that win. But I do want to give a shout out to Loving Vincent, which is a hand-painted film in the style of Vincent van Gogh. That's also on my to-be-watch list, and I think it's very deserving of its nomination in terms of technical achievement. Looking at adapted screenplay, I would actually vote for Logan because while being a superhero film, it is also just an incredible film. It takes a comic book story and makes it this gritty and dark story of aging, death, and legacy. I'm going to skip original screenplay because they're all amazing. I will give a shout out to The Big Sick though because that's its only nomination and I highly recommend it. It's funny, it's heartbreaking, it's based on the writers' real lives. It's also available on Amazon Prime Video, so it's easy to watch if you have Prime. For cinematography, I read a really cool article that I'll link down below about how Best Director and Best Cinematography are usually tied together, which makes it interesting because something like Blade Runner 2049 isn't up for Best Director, but has some amazing cinematography. So could it be the first split in these categories since 2011? Whew, okay, I feel like this is getting long, so let's go through a few pretty quickly. I want Baby Driver to win some combination of film editing, and sound mixing. I feel like Shape of Water will win production design hands down. I actually really liked 3 Billboards' score the most. I would love for Wonder to win makeup and hair, but period pieces tend to take the cake here, unfortunately. Should Phantom Thread win costume design since it's legit about fashion design? And for visual effects, I feel like it might be between Star Wars or Blade Runner, but I don't have much of an opinion here. It was all great. It was much better than I could do. Now for the last 2 categories I wanted to talk about, and I have saved because I feel like these are situations where it may be more of a popularity contest than an award by merit. merit. For Best Original Song, I feel like This Is Me from The Greatest Showman is going to win. And it is an amazing song. All the music from that movie is enthralling. Like, I came out of the theater and immediately put on the soundtrack so I could listen on my way home and sing along. But I feel like it's been winning so far because it's a song for our generation and time, and not necessarily because it is the best song in the category. Personally, I think Remember Me is the most deserving, especially with its use in many forms and many meanings throughout Coco. Like when he plays it for his grandma, it's so sweet. And as an honorable mention, I love Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name. Who would have guessed? Actually, I love all 3 of the original Sufjan Stevens songs in that movie, and I highly recommend listening to them if you ever need to pine for young love or cry out some sadness or something. They just, woo, lots of feelings in that music. And finally, Best Director. Now, I think Guillermo del Toro is going to win based on the number of nominations The Shape of Water received and just the film itself. It's definitely got del Toro's fingerprints all over it. I guess, I don't know. You see, I went into The Shape of Water thinking, this is going to be my favorite film of the season. And yes, I liked it. But overall, it just didn't enthrall me the way I'd imagined it would based on the trailers and the buzz. Del Toro has an absolute mastery of the form. It just felt convoluted sometimes, so I think ultimately my pick would be Jordan Peele for Get Out. And that brings us to our question for today. What are your Oscar picks? Be sure to tell me down in the comments and let me know if there's a film I haven't seen and you think I absolutely must see. Plus, remember to check me out on these other social media sites. So if this video made you smile, do me a favor and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know the moment that there is a new video. And I will see you guys next Thursday. Bye.